Hello darlings, it's Charlotte from charlotteskinnercoaching.com. I thought I'd come on here to help you out with any New Year's resolutions that you've got. I've just been reading on Forbes that only 8% of resolutions are actually achieved. And so I wanted just to kind of give you a behind the scenes look at how, as coaches, we're trained to help people create well-formed outcomes and resolutions, because I'm convinced that having seen some of these resolutions, I can't see what website I'm on now, but some of them, like lose weight, eat healthier, self and improvements, life improvements, better financial decisions, quit smoking, do more exciting things, I'm not surprised that they don't actually happen, because that's not specific enough. So, like I was saying, we are trained to help people create well-formed outcomes and to create achievable outcomes. And we've all heard of the SMART system, so I'm not going to take you through the SMART system. But if you are wanting to join me, then grab yourself a pen, think about your resolution. We're probably going to be together for no more than about 5-10 minutes, so it's not going to be a big investment of your time. But what I want you to consider is, what specifically is it that you want? And that needs to be stated as a positive. So I don't want you to talk about what you don't want in your life. Talk about specifically what you do want. So use that as a starting point. What I'd then like you to consider is, where are you now? And I want you to be associated in that picture. So be looking through your own eyes and consider what the present situation is. Because we need to know where we're going and where we are in order to program the sat-nav correctly, right? So we've got to know what point A and point B is. And then what I want you to consider, once you've got those two first questions down, is to consider, what will you see, hear and feel when you have it? And make sure that those things match your values, okay? And I want you to make it as compelling as possible. When you look at what you see, turn the colour and the focus right up on that. When you consider what you might be hearing, think about the ambient noise. What is it that's going on outside of you? What's your self-talk? What's the narrative that you're telling yourself about? And make sure that it's in the future as well. Make sure that the picture is in the future. And then, this is a really important one. This is the next question that I want you to ask. How will you know when you have it? What's the specific evidence that you need that tells you when you have that? So, for example, if we go back to the do more exciting things, work out more often, what exactly is it? What's the evidence that you need in order to know that that's happening? And then what I want you to consider is, what will this outcome get for you or allow you to do? And that needs to be congruent with your lifestyle. So the ecology of it needs to sit within your existing framework. So what you do for work, your health, your family situation. For example, it's no good talking about, I want to go and travel the world with a backpack if you've got 5 kids at home. It's not likely to happen unless you do some quite serious tweaking or working to make sure that that happens. So just make sure that it fits with the ecology of your life and that it's congruently desirable with everything else in your life. The next thing is it only for you? Is it self-initiated and self-maintained? We can't create goals for other people. It's just never going to work. So we have to make sure that it's only for you and that it is self-initiated and that you have control over it. Next question. Where, when, how and with whom do you want it? Keep it clean. So just consider all of those other different elements. So where are you? When's it going to happen? All of those kind of things. And then the next thing is to overlay the resources. So what do you have now that will allow you to make this thing happen? And what do you need in order to make it happen? What do you need in order to get to your outcome? And then a couple of other questions just relating to that. Have you ever done or had this before? And do you know anybody that has done this before? Hi, Gemma. Do you know anybody that's done this before? And if you do, can you act as if you have it? Can you model them? Can you model their behaviour? And then, this is the next most important question that I find when we're goal setting, this is what's missing. For what purpose do you want it? What's your why behind it? What will you gain if you have it? And what will you lose if you have it? So just consider what your why behind it is. So for example, when we consider the most common New Year's resolution that we all know about is losing weight. but what's the reason behind that? Is it because you want to get into bra size dress or trousers or whatever? But what's your why behind that? Why is that important to you? So just consider what the why is behind it and for what purpose that you want that. These last few questions is what we call quantum linguistics, and you'll understand why when I say these questions, but don't allow your conscious mind to try and rationalise it, because it will go, this is too much. Just let it happen, let your unconscious mind do the work. What will happen if you get it? What won't happen if you get it? And what will happen if you don't get it? And then what won't happen if you don't get it? And I know your conscious mind is probably going to be going, typical coach speak, but just let your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind mull that over. So that's the behind the scenes look at how we as coaches help our clients set achievable and realistic resolutions, outcomes, goals, dreams, whatever. So overlay those questions on your resolution, go back and look and see what the challenges are. The two key areas that I would advise anybody to look at is what's your why, what's the reason that you want it and for what purpose, and what's the evidence that's going to show you that you have this and that you've achieved it. So if you consider those two things alongside all of those questions that I've got you, then you've got yourself a very achievable and very well formed outcome. So anyway, I wanted just to nip in here really quickly. I hope that's been of use. Do just take the time to have a look at your resolution and overlay those questions, because they do really work and it is a really useful process to go through. Anyway, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to send you lots of love. Hope you're all well. Mwah! And I will speak to you soon. Bye.